Paltrocast. So, how's your day going aside from having to do press where you get asked the same questions over and over and over again?
No, it's good. Good. We just got back from a long weekend, so I'm happy to be back home. It was we're out in New Jersey and it was raining and miserable. So I'm happy to be back. We had a big crash, and so I'm just happy to be home.
Crash from weather aside, where in Jersey was that?
Millville, you know where
Oh
that
yeah,
is?
yeah.
Yeah,
My,
yeah. So
my
we
wife's
had
a
that.
Jersey person, so I whenever I hear Jersey, I have to ask those magic words. And I know that you've, competed at an event or two in Jersey over the years. But are you dialing in from Glendale today or that area?
We actually just moved out to like Temecula area. So, but yeah, I'm out in California right now. So yeah, got back
Nice.
yesterday, and yeah,
So
yeah.
how
You're
long?
in the
Long Island, New York here, other coast, 3 hours earlier. Is there a coffee mug at the moment or an energy drink?
No, no, not for me. I have a 2 year old, so I'm used to waking up early, and so we were up at 5 o'clock, so I'm good to go.
There you go. Well, we were connected because of the fine folks at OFTV. Rise and
Yep.
Grind is the new series premieres today, I do believe. How long did you have to keep it a secret that you were filming for it?
I don't know if it was, it wasn't anything that we were holding back. Everybody in the paddock, saw it's not like for our stuff, it's all live sports stuff, right? So we're racing. They had a crew of, I think it was like six guys that showed up at my race. So it was everybody in the paddock knew about it, and yeah, heard about it. So it's neat. The whole OFTV crew is all the videos we've been putting out. It's new for all of our series, so it's everybody in our paddock is excited about it because it's something new platform coming in, and yeah, so it's exciting.
How long did you film for? And I ask that because when you watch a 28-minute, 30-minute TV show, odds are at least 8 hours of footage was filmed for it.
Yeah, we were man, I think it was 4 days because our race weekends are 3 days long, actual riding time. And then we have our setup day, and so it was a lot of footage. I know normally, so I put out a video every race weekend for OFTV, and my video guy, usually gets somewhere around a terabyte or 2 terabytes of footage. So it's always a lot of footage to go through. And we always have these 20-minute episodes, and it's this one's a little bit different because normally it's just following me, or this episode is a lot different. It just speaks with my wife, my father, members on the team. So it's a little bit different perspective where my video guy has been around for a few years, and he knows what it's all about, where this crew is all new to it, and so they don't know anything. So the questions were different, which I like because it kind of informs people really what the sport's about that don't know anything about it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to make just because of that reason.
Was it a big onboarding or uphill battle for you to learn how to do media? Because usually the athletic component of what you do has about 0% 0% in common with talking about what you do. Totally different skill set.
Um, no, this is my 18th season of professional racing, so and for us, it's kind of like imagine a UFC fight or something, right? Where if you win, you lose, whatever, there's media around it. The TV's talking to you. It's not like a football or basketball team where it's like you have one star that's maybe always getting interviewed, and the rest of the guys don't get practice. For us, it's since I was a kid, I've been getting interviewed, and I enjoy it. I like talking to the fans. I like talking to media. It's enjoyable to me. It's part of the job, and it's. I had a teammate at one point that told me, it's not always about winning. It's about the whole media side of it, and making yourself available to everybody, and just trying to have fun with it. And that was something I ran with as a kid, and social media wasn't around at the time, and so it felt natural. Like the whole thing just feels natural to me, and I have fun with it.
You make a good point. Now, Michael Venom Page aside, who's part of Rise and Grind, I would say roughly half the MMA fighters are excellent interviews, and half of them are just good fighters. What sells the fight is that. And when I say that half of them are great talkers, you talk about somebody like Chael Sonnen, who I've interviewed before. He loses a lot of the fights, but you want to see him because of that. Now, your particular sport is not a talking based thing. It's actually based why people want to watch it is what we're seeing on the course. That's the excitement right there. That's where I was going with that. were the interviews hard because it's the exact opposite of selling a fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's for me though, I've always been kind of loved and hated kind of for the same things that you're talking about. When I come in from, let's say there's a crash on the track, I'm the one who just speaks my mind. I say what I have to say, because to me it's like I can hate whoever I'm riding against for an hour, and like it's okay if later on we just forget about it. Like I could be pissed. Like Saturday, we were having a bad weekend, and Saturday I got taken out by another rider, and I'm pissed. I want to choke the guy out when it happens, right? But then an hour later, I could care less. Like it's just in that moment. But when you get a camera shoved in your face right after it happens, you don't want to lie and just say, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." Like, no, the guy just cost me the race and cost me a lot of money, and I'm pissed about it. And sometimes say things maybe that don't come off super nice, but it just is what it is, right? We're not I don't know why in our sport it's like everybody wants to just be nice to each other all the time and sing kumbaya, and a lot of fans hate that. They don't want to see that. They want to see the action. But then the people also on the other side of the fence, they want to see the professional side of it, and they don't think you should be saying anything bad about your competitors. And so I get a lot of hate for it because I just speak my mind.
Wow. Well, I'd imagine having the 2-year-old changed you a little bit towards being able to let things go an hour after the race.
Yeah, maybe, but it also just made me maybe take my anger out on other things because I don't want to take it out on my son. So it's yeah, being a father has definitely changed me as a person. But on the track, yeah, maybe a little bit more calm, not as hot headed, but also I want it more for some reason. Whenever my kids are watching, my wife's there watching, like I want to win more. It's so maybe it makes you a little bit more angry whenever things like that happen.
Yeah. Well, going back to something that you said, when you were growing up, there was no social media. And also, you could say when you were growing up, there was no reality TV. And the reality TV that we did have was more science, educational stuff, and the occasional celebrity, but it wasn't really athletes at the beginning of reality TV. Survivor was just everyday people. So, where I'm going with all that is what an athlete is expected to do and what plans the athlete has for life after being an athlete, very different now than in the past. Like when I grew up as an NBA diehard fan in the 80s, I can't tell you what business ventures most of my favorite players had from the 80s and 90s. You, on the other hand, active on social media, great personality. We know a lot about you. Are you allowed to say what you're working on besides the champion racing career and rise and grind? Like, for example, is there an energy
Um,
drink? Is there a coffee? Is there the CBD line, et cetera, that all athletes kind of have these days?
I try to, I try to be a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to sell somebody a product just because my name's on it, or push it on social media just because somebody gives me some money. If I ever do something like that, it's going to be a passion thing. I'm big into woodworking. I have a lot of fun with that. So I have a little side business for that. And I'm always trying different things. One good thing about our sport is that we can go coach people for some pretty good money. So I like coaching people. For the kids, we just do it for the love of it. But the adults that got money and want to spend money, like we do one-on-one coaching with them. So that's a good way for us to make some side money. And there's the family that I'm racing with now. They're actually out in New York as well. They own a dealership in New York City, and we're always trying to think of different business ideas with these guys. And that's part of the reason why I'm happy with the team that I'm at now, which is I get into the episode is I feel like they actually care about me. Where in the past, it's we race for manufacturers. Our job's always win on Sunday, sell on Monday. We win a race on Sunday, you sell a motorcycle on Monday. So um, that's the way I've always been raised. That's the media training that I've gotten growing up that I never really fit the mold of. And this family, this team, they just let me be me. And one of the things with that is that because we're so close and they get close to my family, it's like they want to make sure that I'm good whenever racing's done, which is hopefully 10 years down the road from now or even longer. But it's always something that we're talking about and trying to get ahead of. You don't want to be the guy that's racing's over and now you're wow, maybe you have a little nest egg saved up, but you're also freaking out about what's in the future. So I'm always trying to think of something, but my squirrel brain kind of helps me leave one thing, pick up another thing really easy. So I'm sure we'll be all right.
So tell me if I'm totally wrong on this, but it sounds like the race itself might be the least consuming of the whole thing because of the family obligations, all the business meetings, what you said about win on Sunday, sell on Monday. Sounds like the race itself is the most enjoyable part.
Oh yeah, the race is the fun part. It's all nerves and butterflies and fear and anger before. Whenever the shield goes down for a race, it's a different story. Even riding, like I don't really enjoy riding. I enjoy racing. I enjoy rubbing elbows with people. I enjoy that fight on the track. The only thing I could compare it to is a fight. It's because that's what we're doing. We're going 200 miles an hour, bumping into each other, crashing. And it's to me that's like it's my drug is the adrenaline side of things. So that's what I look forward to, and the rest of it I can't stand. So it's just those two races that we get on the weekends that really do it for me.
Well, two quick questions and then I'll let you go. And the first one is athletes I find are either the biggest music connoisseurs you ever meet or they hate music because they want to focus on the speed or the actual craft going on. Which one are you? Are you the all music all the time except for this interview and the race or no music?
Uh, I don't know. A little confused with your question. Can you ask it again or put it a different way for me?
Okay, so when you're competing, I assume there's no
Yeah.
music
Nope.
going on
Nothing.
in there because you have
Yep.
to focus. And the same
Yeah.
thing would be with NASCAR, that people associate, being in a car with music, but they can't actually race to it. And they have to super pay attention, just like you. There's some sports you can pay attention
Gotcha. Gotcha.
less. And
Yeah.
there's other sports where you could, hide the earbuds in a helmet, or it's okay. Like if you're running the New York City Marathon, you probably have earbuds in because it is
Yeah.
boring to run 26 miles.
Now for me, I'd say for me, I'm a no music guy because to me the music is the motorcycle and it's the sound of the wind and it's everything. It's motorcycles to me are, and now that I have a son who's grown up around them, it's every bike that he hears, it's just like he locks in, he freaks out. Today we're going for a walk and he's just trying to find the bike. Like, where's the bike? Like he wants to stop and see where it is. And I would say I'm like that. Like whenever the bike turns on, that's like when I'm in the zone and I'm feeling good and yeah, so definitely no music. I've actually tried riding with music before in like a practice kind of scenario
Mhm.
and it's just the most distracting thing ever to me. I can't focus. I got to hear my gears. I got to that we go off the sound of the motorcycle so much. We'll be going 200 miles an hour and normally racers find signs on the track or marks on the ground that's where I need to grab the brakes to be able to make it into this corner. For me, it's a
Right.
sound thing. When I hear the pitch of the motorcycle at a certain noise, that's when I know I need to get on the brakes. And so it's yeah, the sound of the bike is the most important thing to me.
So you have good hearing. Got it. And
Yeah.
the last question I have is what's when you're not busy with the racing, the business related to the racing, the family, obviously there's not a lot of time because you got to factor in the 5 to 9 hours of sleep, etc. But what's the number two hobby outside of all this? Is it woodworking?
um for me, it's hard to interact with fans at the races. Like I try to, I have so much fun with it, but when it's race time and race weekend, there's so much stress and so much going on that it's like they don't get to see the real side of me.
Mhm.
And so I was, to me, it was like a lucky thing that social media came around whenever it did, because it really made me become me. I was able to interact with fans in a way that I wasn't able to at the track, and that's the only time they see us is when we're at a live event. And I feel like they don't get to see the real me. So and this may sound like I was trying to put this in somehow with this interview, but OnlyFans has really made that possible to where I can have my core group of fans, and it's not like some of the other social media sites where it's just anybody can come and see stuff. These are fans that really want to be finding out what's going on behind the scenes and really understand what it takes to be a professional racer and that want to contribute to what you're doing because they know that we're putting our life on the line
Right.
and that's their way of helping out, whether it's $1 or $20 or just them sending a message, whatever it is. That's honestly one of my favorite things to do is interacting with fans on OnlyFans because it kind of puts me in a different position where I understand their side of things and why they want to be a fan of the sport. It's, that's truly what I like doing. I like racing, and I like, in the off season, I like riding motorcycles on the street and doing cool videos and giving, fans something that they want to see and interact with and have fun with.
Well, to add to what you said before I let you go, OnlyFans is not attracting trolls. It's attracting the people that actually want to be there. So you're directly
Yeah.
with the people who know who you are and want to be there.
That's a good way to look at it. I think I've never thought about it that way, but yeah, it's just been enjoyable. Whether there's only 100 guys on there that are like super hardcore into it, maybe there's a few thousand that are kind of into it, but there's those, that small group of really dedicated guys that would really show up and do anything. There's guys that follow me around to 6, 7 events out of the year, and they just love motorcycles. It's not in a weird way. It's just they just want to feel like they're part of it, and that platform really allows me to kind of make them feel that way.
Well said. Well, hey, thank you for your time. Congrats on the release of Rise and Grind, and looking forward to everything that's to come from you in the near future, Josh.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Paltrocast.